Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Dave. That's Scott. Today we are going and doing an old ass movie,
Yes.
starring Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell. Double talk at its best, and it's called His Girl Friday. I've seen this movie countless times, and I did catch a couple of things last night that I thought, wow, how did I miss that?
I'll tell you
But
how.
what did you? Yeah, because of double
I'll
talk.
tell you how you missed it. I mean, when I read last night that Hawk had set out to make the fastest dialogue in a
Yeah.
movie, I think he succeeded.
Oh yeah.
I saw they even brought sound editors in to kind of speed things up and do some tricks to make it even faster. I have never watched a movie with so much dialogue and yet been so entertained.
Yeah.
This, as I told you, breaks into my top 10 classic
That's
movies.
great. That's
Um,
great.
I I
I love to
freaking
hear that.
love this. I mean, you got Cary Grant, which you see why he is such a big star.
Mhm.
And the surprise for me was Rosalind Russell and the way she and Carrie played off of each other with the
Yep.
improv,
Right.
which I was reading this movie cost a lot because of all the shoots that had to keep going and the different
Right.
takes of everything. This is this is a cool movie, and it's also a message in
Message.
here about the news and reporters and what the news did at the time and still does to this day,
Yeah.
anything to get a story, even if they have to twist the truth. And I thought that was a neat thing running through the background of this. But we can talk
Yeah.
about that as we get through the through the movie. It's a fun movie, dude. I absolutely I
Course it
laughed
does.
out loud so many times. And
Right.
it's
Right.
dry, it's sarcastic, it's nasty, it's mean,
It's
it's
so mean.
it's mean. It is. There's at times it's actually mean. This movie is mean. It's will offend if you're watching it like, oh my God, they said pickaninny or something like
Yeah.
that, you know?
Well,
And
Kat and I both looked
yeah.
at each other for that scene.
Yes.
The pickaninny had a baby boy or something like that, and I was sitting there thinking. I looked over at Kat. I said, they use that term, but it was a bunch of white cops helping that lady give birth
Mhm.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what it was. I mean,
That's how
but that's just how it was, and I just
yeah.
thought, nowadays everybody's going to concentrate on the term, and
Mhm.
that, and that's the wrong thing to concentrate on. Really, it's
Yeah.
just one of the terms that were used a lot back
And
then,
yes, it was wrong at the
and it was
time.
wrong at the time
Yeah.
too, if I'm not
But
mistaken. But it
again,
was
as we say, you can't look at these through today's lens.
right. No,
And
no, you can't.
because you have to have the time frame this takes place is the only way this movie works
Yeah, yeah.
because of the
Oh,
technology of the day.
real quick, folks, don't forget to
Yes.
hit the like button, the share button, the join us button. Uh, Share us around, leave comments, let us know what you think about the movie. Go watch it. It's really good. I just wanted to get that in while I was thinking about it because I always wait until the end of the movie
Yeah.
to talk before I say that, or you say that, or one of us remembers to say it if we
Right.
remember it all.
So one of the things about this, we have started the year off with a month or so of rom-coms. What a way
Yeah,
to start the new year, coming off of
right,
Christmas. Yeah.
right.
So that being the theme, this movie was chosen. One I had never seen. Really cool film. Very few set pieces.
Right,
Uh,
right. Not many
this
at all.
movie is driven by dialogue alone, and I know this sounds like a turnoff, folks. And yes, if I was reading that, I would be a little apprehensive. But
Right,
it's
right.
so entertaining to see the interactions on screen as this story is laid out. It's almost like a play, and I think it might have been.
I think it
Um,
was.
yeah.
The original movie was called Front Page, and the two
Ah,
main characters are actually men.
right.
The Rosalind Russell character is actually played by another guy, and it's supposed to be an editor trying to get his star reporter back.
Yeah.
So the love story's
Not
not
as
there, but it's
engaging as
yeah,
getting your ex-wife to come back and love you.
having somebody come in and rejig the story just that
Yeah.
little bit makes this entire thing work so well for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And she plays a hotshot reporter who is actually looks like very well respected in the newspaper, not for
Yeah,
just being
yeah.
the editor's wife, but because they know if they need a story, she can write a story.
The thing that really drives that point home is she starts writing a story while
Yeah, well, they're talking to
yeah,
that.
while they're talking to some girl that we'll talk about in a second. But she's writing a story. She has to get up and leave and help the girl out the door. And then all the other reporters, like six guys, chomping on cigars, wearing the
Yeah.
fedoras, and they all go over there and they read. The guy reads the whole story that she's written so far, and then he stops and he's like, they basically all just compliment her. They're like, "My God, if I could write like that,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be swamping with you guys. I don't know why she's here." And they're just like everybody's just complimenting her. And I looked over at Kat and I said, "That is a great scene, especially for that time period."
Hmm.
Women back then had an even hard much. I mean, they actually had a hard time in the workplace. Um, and this really pointed out that she could hold her own against
Oh,
all the
yeah.
men.
Yeah.
All of
And she absolutely could, especially when it came to wit
them.
and just the way she was so
Sorry about that, folks. I had to go
no.
save my dead dog.
Like her just her wit, her smarts, her intelligence.
Yeah,
She could put people in their place so fast,
quick.
and
Quick.
so could Cary Grant. They were so made for each other. So the way this movie is set up is this Rosalind Russell has left her editor husband and has found a new boyfriend who's getting married. And they're stopping by the newspaper to let him know that she's getting married and on her way to Albany.
And I
And
think she went
well,
to get either papers signed or
yeah,
he owed her money, and she was only
something.
going there for
Yeah.
that one, yeah, the one or two little things. Then she's out the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you see in that
Nope.
scene when she finally runs into him, this is what sets him up. He's talking to a mobster right off the bat in his
Oh yeah,
office,
yeah,
showing how he has his own little network, and you'll see this throughout the movie. He has his own little cadre of thugs in his pocket to make things happen, so he could get stories or what have you. And you
right.
realize this guy is horrible,
He'll do
absolutely
anything
deplorable.
because if the story doesn't exist, he'll make one,
Yes.
which is what they do now. They make shit
I
up.
know, I know. So that's what was great about this. That because they show it at the beginning with this
Yeah.
disclaimer. This shows how they'll go to any links or whatever. But then it also says this is will not um it's not reflective of today or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's
So it
not
was like,
reflective
oh,
on you guys.
yeah,
Yeah, which
yeah.
is basically just, even that was a slap in the face to
It
all the
was,
reporters
it
in the
was, that was
bag.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was that was what was cool about it. Very, very neat movie. But you see right then what a scumbag he is, but he still
Oh yeah,
loves his wife. And he
yeah.
starts the minute they start talking. And now this is what I have to point out. This speech, this back and forth,
Oh
this
yeah.
banter is so fast. It's going over each other. They
Yeah.
are brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant. It was I was convinced right away that they were exes.
Oh yeah.
So
Uh,
yeah.
I'd seen an interview with Rosalind Russell when she was older, and somebody had asked her about like how she did so much double talk. Why is she so good at it? And she points to His Girl Friday. She had never really done anything like that before. Cary Grant hadn't really done anything like that before.
Wow.
The director knew exactly what he wanted. The writers gave him what he wanted. And the way that they wrote the lines, I forgot how they said, like in the original script, they would overlap. Like instead of having everything down the center page, like as you
Yeah.
do, they were somehow like doing the overlap.
Yeah.
And the director would said on fourth word, third word, or something like that, there was a point where you had to start talking. And it just made it sound so natural, like how you talk
Mhm.
over, like I always talk over you, kind of like that.
We were dealing with the technical delay of the interwebs.
Sure. I won't say that I interrupt you all the time.
Yeah, whatever.
I interrupt you
It's all good.
constantly.
It's all good. I just figure you can't
But
hear me, but now I know the truth.
But
I'm
she
heartbroken.
explained
183 episodes later, the truth comes out.
like that, yes. But she explained like how they did it, how they came up with her and Cary Grant. He told them what they wanted or what he wanted, and then her and Cary Grant had to figure out when to come in. And it turned out that like
Mm,
every third or fourth word, either towards the end of their line or in the beginning of their lines, where they could really do the overlap.
yeah.
And then there's this scene where her and Cary Grant are talking, and then there's like three or four other guys, I think, at the desk, all talking on the phones, and everybody's talking over everybody.
My
And
God.
Kat was like, "Oh my God, how did they film this? How could you do that scene?" And I was just like,
Lots
"It's
of
amazing."
practice.
This, folks, is why I watch old movies because nobody does this shit anymore.
This is
Nobody.
amazing.
They
This is
would
amazing.
dub everybody in later. They would never try and do this on in front of a camera. I don't think anymore, except maybe like a small budget movie. It's because of stuff like this. They thought it through, they practiced it, and then they went and did it. And man, it's magic to watch these actors. It's magic to listen to the dialogue.
Everything, and it's
The
not
direct-
just the two mains, it's
no, it's
everybody. Like you said,
everybody.
it's that newsroom. Oh my God, those guys are great, and you listen to them, and what I'm hearing is what you would even hear in that radio announcer voice. They are just, the delivery is really cool,
Yeah,
the way they're
yeah,
reading the news, and it's like, wow, that it just, it gives me chills thinking about it. It's really neat. And you're right, because there was
yeah,
just so much going on. There's so much improv,
right.
and there's so much going on in the background. This movie is well thought out. What about Stairway Sam, or whatever they called him? The guy that sat by the window at the stairs, and he could watch the women walk up with their skirts, and he would
Yeah,
turn
yeah,
his
yeah,
head.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
watch in the background, every time a woman would go
There he
by,
is doing that. He's looking.
and it was
That's so
just stuff
goddamn
like
funny.
that in the background. It's like, wow.
The, you started out talking about the divorced couple and what they're doing.
Yes.
How he gets her to stay is there's a man on death row.
Yeah.
His newspaper, Cary Grant's newspaper, has been pushing to get this guy off of death row because Cary Grant really thinks the guy's innocent. He really does think that it's an accident. He knows the mayor is trying to get reelected. He knows the governor doesn't want to kill the guy, so he's been bugging the governor to give him a reprieve. Um, he knows the mayor's crooked. He knows the sheriff's crooked. He knows most of the police department's crooked, and it all comes out to play. But how crooked they really are and how incompetent they really are really comes through in this movie. They're all related. The mayor is the brother or the brother-in-law or brother of, or the sheriff is
Oh,
the
it
brother of
is.
the
Yeah.
mayor, and they're all then all the other people that are related to the mayor, they're all, everybody in this town is related. They're all crooked. They're all dirty. And bad as Cary Grant's character is, you want to see him start to take these guys down.
And he does. And what I
And he
love
winds
about
up
it,
doing it.
I love how he talks to these people, and how
Oh, he has no
everybody
respect.
hates the sheriff, and they're just right to his face, and they're just insulting him. And some of it is actually mean. Like I said, there's a lot of meanness in this movie, and it's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
It's absolutely funny, but it's like, oh, ouch. You know, it's like, damn, that had to sting.
Did you happen to recognize who the sheriff was?
I've seen him before, but no.
I will tell you who the sheriff is. I want to make sure I got the name right. It's Gene Lockhart. Gene Lockhart was the guy that was in uh, Scrooge. Scrooge?
Yes.
No, A Christmas Carol. He
Oh.
was. My mind just went blank.
Mm.
Scrooge's. God damn it!
Marley?
Now that I'm trying to think of his name,
Was it
I can't
Marley?
think of
Is
his name.
Jacob Marley? Or is what?
No,
No?
it was.
Okay.
Oh my God, my mind just went totally blank. I hate when I do this, folks. I need to write this shit down more often so I look smarter.
Oh, well, it's all right.
But he was Scrooge's secretary, whatever you call him
Okay.
back in the day. Um, Cratchit. I don't know
Oh,
how
it's
did I
like,
forget
how the
Cratchit?
hell could you forget
I'm
Bob
reading the
Cratchit?
goddamn book right now.
Oh my God. Anyway, back to this and out of Dickens, as Dave took a weird trip.
I gotta go see what my dogs are barking at. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you were saying he was Cratchit and Scrooged,
Yeah,
and then we were making
I
fun
don't know
of
how
you.
I forgot that.
Yeah,
And then I had to go
it's all
save my
right.
dogs again because they're both being
Yeah.
dopes.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
but anyway, yeah. So the whole thing is this movie. You can see the setup coming. You can
Mhm.
see that this Walter, I think is his name, is going to do
Yeah,
whatever he can to keep her there. Hildy, to keep Hildy
Hildy.
there. What a wonderful character. I absolutely love watching her on screen. It was
She
magic.
she
Yeah.
walks in. She's Rosalind Russell is beautiful to begin with.
She took boom. I
Then
mean, it's that
then she's beautiful, and if she would have put a cigar in her mouth and started smoking it, I would not have been surprised.
I know, right?
Rosalind Russell is a dame. She is a
I would have
broad.
seen her
She
pour a
is
drink, light up,
she is one
and
of yeah,
yeah,
she is one of the guys. She's ready to, she could have shot whiskey with the best of them. And this character is that character. But again, everybody respects her. And
that's
she,
what's
for as
great.
much as she wants a story, I don't think she'll lie. She may fluff it up like she was doing in the one,
Yeah. Well,
but she
yeah.
never lied. She
No,
never lied in that whole story that she wrote that
no.
they were
She
reading.
saw the truth pretty quick, but
Yeah,
yeah, but what I was saying is you can see the setup for this. It's your typical romantic comedy. He's going to do
right.
whatever he can to to get her back. And I honestly didn't know which way this movie was going to go for a while. At
Right.
first I thought maybe, they're going to she and Bruce would overcome anything that Walter threw at him, but all had happened by Walter digging in and doing this was showing Hildy that Bruce really isn't
Yeah,
what she
she's not the one
wanted.
for you. You're gonna
It,
eat this guy up and spit him out, and you'll be divorced in a
and
week.
because her whole demeanor, everything changes as it goes, and you see her just come in to this
Yeah,
Spitfire reporter that they all love and respect.
yeah.
I, you know, I I was just surprised at how good this was. I just enjoyed it.
Did you? Yeah, I don't know if you caught the name. The actor's name that played Bruce Baldwin. His name is Ralph Bellamy. Big character actor, very
Mm-hmm.
famous actor. When he turns to the blonde, there's a scene where he's really trying to. Cary Grant is trying to get them to not be married. He's trying to get uh, the main character of Bruce thrown back in jail. He just
Oh
needs him
my
out of the
god,
picture. So he goes to the blonde that's the prostitute or whatever the hell she was, the
that's what
gun
I'm
mall. We
assuming.
call her gun mall. He sends her down to the car. He finds out what kind of car the guy's in, and
God,
knows what the guy looks like. And she asks, "Well, how will I know him?" He goes, "Well, who's that? Who's that famous actor? And the one that's in all the movies, the blonde." And
yeah.
she goes, "Ralph Bellamy." He goes, "That's the one." It's
So
Ralph
that's real. Oh
Bellamy
my
playing the
god.
character.
Oh my god.
When I caught that last night, I burst out
Oh
laughing. I was like, "Oh my
wow,
god, that's hysterical!"
that is great,
Um,
man. That is great.
because really, they didn't do that kind of thing all that much back then. So
No,
when
that's
it
that's an
stepped
early
out, it was
breaking
very
the
funny.
fourth wall. Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
Real quick, can I go through everybody's names real
Yeah,
fast? I want to
absolutely.
do
Go
this.
through everybody's names.
These are the greatest, greatest actors. Cary Grant,
Yes.
Rosalind Russell. Cary Grant played Walter Burns. Rosalind Russell played his ex-wife, Hildy Johnson. The aforementioned Ralph Bellamy plays Bruce Baldwin, a milk toast kind of guy. So
Oh
good
my
at it.
god. He plays it
Gene
so well.
Lockhart played Sheriff Hartwell. Porter Hall played Murphy. It was one of the reporters that was in
Yeah.
there. Ernest True played Bessinger. Cliff Edwards played Endicott. And these are all the other reporters in the room. Clarence Cobb played the mayor. And he used to play that character in a lot of movies. If you see
I've
him close,
seen him before.
and he's always played that same kind of
Yes.
pompous, I'm in charge, but
Almost like a
nobody's listening
always
and my
almost
world's falling
yeah,
apart kind of character. Uh,
exactly.
Roscoe Carnes played McHugh. Frank Jenks played Wilson. Regis Toomey played Sanders. And here's my favorite actor, or my favorite character in the movie, is Abner Biberman. He was Louis. He was the gangster. He was the Puerto Rican looking guy, but I
Yeah.
think he's actually Jewish, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. but he always played the Italian. He always played the
I can see
Hispanic.
he had a
He
look.
always he's got a look that he can play like a lot of different,
Yeah. But he
characters.
fit that gangster role perfect.
Oh, he plays a good gangster, dude. He
Yeah.
in other movies I've seen him in, it's not funny. Like he plays like a mean, vicious guy. He can play
Yeah,
that
here
part
he had some
really well.
fun with it.
In this one, he gets his ass beat by Ralph Bellamy's mom at one point, and he comes in, he's all tore up, his hat's off, and he's trying to explain to Rosalind Russell what happened, and she's
It's so
gonna
funny.
take him down to the police or something, and he just takes off. He's like, I can't do that. He takes off. But this gangster and the guys that Cary Grant's character has working for them is just they're amazing. The guy's up to no good at all times.
Yeah.
And I can't even tell you how good this movie is.
Yeah.
The guy who's on death row winds up escaping, but he escapes into the reporter's main room
Yep.
where Rosalind Russell is at. She happens to be alone, and she goes over and she shuts the door. She talks the gun out of the guy's hand, and then she
That was
realizes
a
I have to
scary
hide it.
scene, man.
Yeah,
Because when you discover why the events happened,
yeah,
and to see him holding that gun, I was like holding my breath. It's like, oh shit,
yeah.
no, yeah.
That was
So it's
that's kind of a scary moment, and
yeah,
she's been nice to him, and she's never lied. So he feels like he can trust her, I think, a little bit more, and he's just tired. He wants to sleep. He hasn't had
So
sleep in what,
when
2 or 3 days or some
yeah,
shit.
this poor guy. I thought at one point he's going to say, "Can we just get the hanging on, please?
Yeah,
Just hang me now."
I was waiting for him to say that.
Yeah. So when he first spoke, my brain instantly registered Rick Moranis as in Ghostbusters.
Yep, yep, yep.
And I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's the kind of character he is.
Yeah,
Very
very much.
milquetoast sort of fella too. Just
Yeah.
hang on to me, or can I go home? Um, but she has to hide him somewhere because all the reporters. She's locked the door, and all the reporters are trying to get back into the main room. So she takes him and puts him. In the old days, they had these like desks that you could slide up the top
Yeah,
and
roll top desk. Yeah,
roll top desk. You could roll it up, put your stuff in there. If you had a mess,
they were
you just shut it.
huge.
Mess was hidden. Big. They are big. But she puts the guy in there and shuts him down in that. And she's trying to call her boss to get the thing moved. And just hijinks ensue from that
Oh
point
my
on.
god, that's just it. This whole movie is just like everything just happens and happens and
And
happens
it
and
just
happens.
keeps getting worse and worse and worse and better and better and better. And God, the whole
Oh,
time she's trying to get married, the whole time Cary Grant's trying to not let her get married, and Ralph Bellamy just keeps getting screwed over, and Ralph Bellamy's mom keeps getting screwed over.
this
And
was
Rosalind
this
Russell's
was
just trying to get the story.
and nobody would listen to her. This
No,
was there's a few moments in here. It was heartbreaking that that woman killed herself.
she didn't die.
Well, she didn't die, but still that
She didn't
she
go, but
got
she
pushed to
jumped out
that.
the
Yeah.
window. She
Yeah. It's
got
like, oh
so,
my God.
but she did that to save that guy
I know.
because
It's
they were so close to finding him. And she's
yeah.
like, "Well, you want a story?" Right out the window.
Yeah. I was like, that this movie had
That was
surprises.
unexpected.
Uh yeah. The biggest surprise is how lovely this movie is. This is
Yeah.
wonderful. So thank you for turning me on to it.
You are very welcome. I'm always happy to find an old movie because I don't think you watch or you didn't watch a lot of
I
old
have
movies.
not
So,
watched a lot of old movies until we started this.
yeah, and I highly
So
recommend this movie, folks.
I, I
I can't
I do
recommend
too.
it enough. Romantic comedy, lots of old school double talk.
Oh,
This is why I
it's
like the
fascinating.
this is why I like the movie Oscar so much with Sylvester Stallone. It's very much along.
Hmm,
It's not a romantic comedy, but it is along the same vein of comedy.
hmm.
It's a lot of double talk, lot of lot of double cross.
Yeah.
It
Oh my God, there's so much of that going on in here. You got to watch. It's like you're
yeah.
watching the editor. Cary Grant's character is not just an editor; he's a con man.
Oh
He
fuck yeah!
Oh my God. He's a worse criminal than everybody he's hired. It's like,
And
damn.
Hildy, and the funny thing is, Hildy is honest, and she's
Yeah.
basically what I can't imagine Cary Grant's newspaper had she left because there
Right.
would have been nobody there to keep him as
Keep the
honest as he
integrity.
was.
Yeah.
Though he wanted to tell the story and break laws to get the story and lie and this and that, he always was telling a truth, not the
Hmm.
truth, but a truth that as he saw it, and he wanted to make sure the news showed his opinion instead of the truth.
How about
And
that?
what's changed? Really,
Nothing.
nothing. Kat and I looked at each other and said, "Nothing's changed. Nothing's
Nothing.
changed in the news media. They knew it back in the 30s and 40s. Nothing's
Yep.
changed."
Yep. Absolutely nothing's changed. And I will give my opinion. Absolutely love this movie. As I said earlier, it breaks my top 10 of classic movies. This is
Yes.
up there with Casablanca, Maltese Falcon, and many others that we have watched.
Yeah.
North by Northwest. Just this is a classic. I can't believe I've never heard of it, and it's wonderful. Absolutely
Ah,
wonderful.
thank you. I love to hear that. I love it. Oh, we're gonna have to next Christmas. We'll have to watch Auntie Mame, another
There we go.
Rosalind Russell movie.
Oh, absolutely. I'm down with anything that she's in. I'm there.
You,
That's
girl, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. I think she's in that.
yeah.
I can't remember. It's been many, many, many,
Yeah,
many.
well, we'll have to take a look because we will definitely be dipping into more classic movies this year. So, your final thoughts?
Oh, folks, this to me is the comedy that I grew up on. This is why I have the sense of humor that I have today. This, the Three
This
Stooges,
is
Laurel and Hardy, these old comedies, Buster Keaton.
mhm.
I mean, I see these guys and I just like, oh my God, this is humor. This is funny.
It's so funny.
This is dangerous because they didn't have stuntmen like when Buster Keaton did stuff. That was him.
No, no, no.
But
That's the same with the
are people.
Stooges. They beat each other up. It was ridiculous.
Can't imagine the tongue twisters and the time that it took to do this movie.
Amazing.
But I highly recommend it if you're a movie enthusiast. If you like historical, like history movies for history's sake, watch this. It puts you right in a time period when the news was everybody believed what everybody wrote, and at one point in this movie, you have 6 or 7 newsmen at the table calling in a story, and they're all telling a completely different story.
I know. That was
One of them,
really cool.
the one guy, the first guy had basically the truth.
Yeah.
Basically,
But then
he flowered it up, and each time it was like, what do they call it? Chinese whispers. It kept getting
telephone.
worse. Telephone kept getting
Yeah.
worse, worse, and worse. By the time you get to
Johnny and the
last
Mothers
guy,
are playing at the Savoy tonight.
yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. And at one point, Rosalind Russell's on the phone, and she's almost watching the progression. And by the time it gets to the last guy, she kind of breaks the fourth wall, looks at the camera like, okay. Like, I can't believe what I just heard. So it's for that
Yeah.
kind of humor. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I just applaud it. I
Yeah,
applaud the people who made this movie. But yes,
it's
that
such a
kind of
good
humor
movie.
is wonderful.
Get it,
Wonderful.
watch it, find it, buy it, purchase this
Share
movie.
it.
You will not be sorry. It's
Yeah.
two of the best actors and the best actor and best actress of their time in the same movie at their absolute pinnacle best. That's all I can say. I'm good. I'm done.
All right. So yes, absolutely. So Dave and I say check it out, and we will be back next week with another romantic comedy. Probably dipping a little closer to this time frame, but still an old ass one, I'm sure. So thanks again, folks. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and we will catch you next week.